Have you ever hugged a woman and felt nothing? Like the moment should have meant something, but it didn't. Or maybe you felt a spark, but you weren't sure if she did. Most men never realize this, but the way you hug a woman can quietly signal everything about you. Your confidence, your emotional awareness, even how safe she feels with you. And yet, so many of these signals are missed. I want to show you something most men were never taught: how to make a hug feel magnetic without saying a single word. By the end of this video, you'll understand not just how to touch, but how to communicate value and presence through something as simple as an embrace. Before we dive in, if you want to understand female psychology in ways few men ever do, hit that like button and consider subscribing. This isn't just about attraction, it's about understanding human connection at its most instinctive level. Let's start with the first truth. Women feel far more than they think. Every shift in posture, every change in your breathing, even the slight pressure of your arms, she notices. And it matters. A hug isn't just a hug. It's a moment where she assesses unconsciously your strength, your warmth, and even your emotional honesty. You see, most men hug the way they were hugged, or worse, they hug mechanically, without intention. That leaves her confused or disconnected. She might enjoy the touch, but it doesn't create desire, because desire isn't built in isolation. It's built in recognition, the recognition that someone understands you, respects your space, and yet can make you feel something unique. Here's the subtle part most men miss. The energy you bring to a hug communicates far more than words ever could. Are you tense? Are you fidgeting? Do you linger with presence, or do you rush through it? Women notice these cues instantly, and they interpret them. A firm but respectful hold conveys confidence. A hesitant or sloppy one conveys uncertainty. But there's a delicate balance. Too forceful, and it triggers discomfort. Too soft, and it signals passivity. That balance is where attraction lives quietly, beneath conscious thought. And then there's timing. A hug at the right moment can ignite curiosity, intimacy, and even longing. Too soon, and she recoils subconsciously. Too late, and the moment passes, leaving only a polite exchange. Timing, pressure, posture, and attention. All of these subtle elements combine to create what I like to call a magnetic hug. It's the kind of hug that lingers in her mind, even hours later. And here's the part most men never realize. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be aware, intentional, and calm. That awareness itself communicates power. In this video, I'll break down 4 specific techniques that transform a simple hug into a moment of psychological attraction. You won't find these in dating guides or social media tutorials because they aren't about manipulation. They're about presence. They're about understanding female psychology at a deep level and applying it in a way that feels natural. By the time we finish, you'll see hugging not as a casual gesture, but as one of the most potent ways to communicate desire, confidence, and emotional intelligence, all without speaking a word. The first element of a truly magnetic hug is presence. Not just being physically there, but being fully, emotionally there. Women sense this immediately. The way you hold yourself, your breathing, even the way your body aligns with hers, communicates whether you are someone she can relax into or someone she instinctively keeps at a distance. Think about it. In a hug, her body is literally in your space. That's a silent test. She's evaluating if you are grounded, calm, and aware, or scattered, nervous, or disconnected. And her response to that assessment shapes her attraction to you more than you might realize. Presence starts with posture. Stand tall but relaxed, shoulders down, chest open, spine straight but not rigid. Avoid leaning forward too aggressively or collapsing back. Your body language speaks before your arms even wrap around her. A grounded posture signals stability, reliability, and quiet confidence. These are traits that women are biologically attuned to notice. Then comes the embrace itself. Approach her with gentle intentionality. Let your arms wrap around her naturally in a way that matches her energy. If she leans in slightly, follow her lead. If she's more reserved, give her space while maintaining warmth. Awareness of these subtleties communicates respect and emotional intelligence. Another critical part of presence is your breathing. It's easy to overlook, but your breathing sets the tone. Slow, steady breaths convey calmness and control. Shallow, fast, or erratic breathing conveys tension and discomfort. She doesn't consciously analyze your breath, but she feels it. And those feelings matter more than words. When your presence is calm, she feels safe, even subtly protected. That sense of safety is a magnet. It allows her mind to relax and her emotions to open. The more comfortable and secure she feels in your presence, the more she unconsciously starts to want your company and more. Equally important is attention. During a hug, most men treat it like a formality. They hold her, then immediately think about something else. But women feel attention at a deep level. Even a few seconds of fully tuned-in presence makes a hug feel intimate. Notice the weight of her body against yours, the way she leans in, the small shifts in her posture. This is not about staring or being awkward. It's about quietly being tuned to her energy, letting her feel that you are engaged, calm, and aware. Presence is magnetic because it communicates, without words, that you are someone who sees her and values her completely. Finally, presence is reinforced by subtle timing. Don't rush the hug. Let it unfold naturally. A well-timed pause, just long enough for her to feel your steadiness, can leave a lingering impression. Women remember the feeling of being understood and safe more than they remember what you said. By mastering presence in a hug, you are not only communicating confidence, you are creating a subtle, irresistible pull that draws her closer emotionally, even before words come into play. This is the foundation. Without it, no amount of technique will feel genuine. Presence is what makes a hug feel meaningful. It's what separates a hug that's forgettable from one that lingers in her mind, sparking curiosity and subtle desire. And presence doesn't come from trying too hard. It comes from being aware, grounded, and attuned in that very moment. The second element of a magnetic hug is subtlety in touch. The kind of touch that speaks louder than words but never feels forced. This is where most men unknowingly lose connection. They either hug too loosely, giving her no sense of presence, or they hug too tightly, creating discomfort or unease. The magic happens in the balance, firm enough to communicate confidence, soft enough to convey warmth and respect. Women sense this intuitively. Every fraction of pressure communicates something about you, your energy, your self-assurance, and your emotional awareness. Think of it this way. A hug is a conversation without words. You are communicating who you are silently through your arms, your posture, and the tension, or lack thereof, in your body. She doesn't analyze this consciously, yet she feels it in her gut. When your touch is intentional and measured, it communicates safety, strength, and emotional maturity all at once. And this is different from dominance or control. It's a quiet authority, a calm power that draws her in because it makes her feel secure. This kind of touch triggers subtle psychological signals that she associates with someone reliable, competent, and attractive. Another aspect to consider is the placement of your hands. This isn't about inappropriate contact, it's about positioning that communicates attentiveness. Hands resting naturally on her upper back, gently aligned with her shoulder blades, signals support. It shows you are present, aware, and steady. Your hands should never wander with intent. They move with purpose and restraint. That restraint itself communicates control, self-possession, and respect. Women pick up on this immediately. It makes them feel understood without a single word being spoken. Timing and duration also matter. A hug that is too brief leaves her feeling unfulfilled, as though something is missing. A hug that lingers just long enough, with steady, calm pressure, communicates depth and attention. It says, "I notice you, and I value this moment with you." It's subtle, but it lingers in her subconscious. That lingering sensation creates what I call psychological resonance. She starts to associate you with warmth, safety, and subtle intrigue, all feelings that naturally increase attraction. Another critical factor is synchrony. Your body should move in harmony with hers. When she leans slightly into you, follow her lead gently. When she relaxes, mirror her calmness. This synchrony is not mimicry. It's empathy in motion. It shows that you are attuned to her energy, which in turn makes her feel more connected, more comfortable, and more open to emotional engagement. A woman who feels this subtle alignment will often remember the hug long after it happens, replaying the feeling in her mind, sometimes without realizing why. Finally, the power of subtle touch is amplified by presence, the element we discussed earlier. Without presence, the hug becomes mechanical, no matter how good your technique is. With presence, however, touch transforms into a bridge of emotional attraction. It communicates strength, attentiveness, and warmth simultaneously. And this combination is irresistible because it speaks to a part of her mind she can't consciously articulate, the part that craves connection with a man who is both strong and emotionally intelligent. Mastering subtle touch doesn't take brute strength, charm, or tricks. It takes awareness, intention, and a calm confidence. When done correctly, it creates a magnetic pull that leaves her thinking about you long after the hug ends. The third element that turns a simple hug into something unforgettable is your face, specifically your eyes and subtle facial cues. Most men underestimate this, thinking a hug is only about arms and posture. But women are wired to notice micro-expressions, tiny shifts in gaze, and the way your face communicates emotion. A calm, focused gaze can convey warmth, confidence, and emotional presence all at once. When combined with the right touch, it amplifies attraction in ways words simply cannot. Let's start with the eyes. During a hug, maintaining a soft, gentle focus, not staring but present, signals attention and emotional awareness. Look into her eyes briefly before, or as you pull slightly back, letting your eyes meet hers. This creates a subtle moment of connection, a bridge between physical touch and emotional resonance. Women pick up on this instantly. Even a few seconds of meaningful eye contact communicates that you are grounded, aware, and fully engaged. It tells her, without words, that she matters to you in that moment. Facial expressions also play a quiet but powerful role. A slight, calm smile, not forced or overly expressive, conveys warmth and reassurance. Your face can soften the hug, making it feel emotionally safe, inviting, and intriguing. Avoid tension in your jaw, forehead, or lips. When your face is relaxed, your body language aligns with your presence and your touch, reinforcing the message that you are confident, calm, and approachable. Women notice these subtleties, often subconsciously, and it shapes how connected they feel to you. Another subtle cue is timing facial engagement with the hug. For example, when initiating the hug, a brief eye contact and relaxed smile sets the tone. During the hug, your face doesn't need to be overly expressive. It should simply communicate calm, steady awareness. And as you release, a gentle glance in her eyes, paired with a soft smile, leaves a lasting impression. It's this combination of brief, intentional facial cues with presence and touch that makes a hug memorable rather than ordinary. It's also worth noting that micro-expressions convey authenticity. Women can sense when your facial expressions are genuine versus performative. A relaxed, authentic smile combined with steady eye contact communicates emotional honesty and confidence. This is far more attractive than any scripted charm or exaggerated gestures. The key is subtlety, too much emphasis, and it can feel forced, too little, and it's forgettable. Finally, when you integrate facial cues with the other elements, presence and subtle touch, you create a hug that resonates psychologically. She doesn't just feel your arms, she feels your energy, your calmness, and your attentiveness. She feels a connection that sparks curiosity and emotional attraction. This is why some hugs linger in memory for hours or even days. It's not the physical act alone, it's the full spectrum of nonverbal communication. Understanding how your eyes and face influence her perception transforms a simple embrace into a magnetic, emotionally impactful moment. And the beauty of it is that it doesn't require theatrics, just awareness, calmness, and intention. When done right, it plants a seed of desire and intrigue that she carries with her long after you let go. The fourth and final element that transforms an ordinary hug into something magnetic is rhythm. the subtle motion and flow of your embrace. Most men think a hug is static. You wrap your arms, hold, and release. But in reality, the way you move during a hug, the slight shifts in pressure and timing, communicates emotional depth, confidence, and attentiveness without a single word. Rhythm is the hidden language of physical connection, and women feel it instinctively. Let's break it down. When you hug, avoid locking yourself in place. A hug that is too rigid signals tension, discomfort, or insecurity. A hug that flows naturally, small, gentle adjustments, a slight sway of the body, signals relaxation, confidence, and presence. Think of it as a dance without music. You move in harmony with her energy, responding to the way she leans, the subtle shift of her weight, the pace of her breathing. That alignment creates a subconscious resonance, a magnetic pull that she can't quite name, but that keeps her engaged. The rhythm of a hug also communicates timing and attention. A brief, stiff hug may feel obligatory, leaving her emotionally untouched. A lingering, steady hug, where you maintain calm pressure, breathe together, and subtly adjust to her movements, communicates attentiveness, emotional intelligence, and respect for her boundaries. It's not about lingering awkwardly. It's about creating a moment where she feels seen, safe, and subtly intrigued. That combination sparks desire more than words ever could. Another key aspect of rhythm is mirroring. Women are naturally drawn to men who can match their energy without forcing it. If she leans in slightly, match her movement with calm precision. If she relaxes back, mirror her steadiness. This isn't mimicry, it's a demonstration of empathy and awareness. When a hug has rhythm, it creates a subtle emotional connection. She feels a quiet harmony between your energy and hers, and that connection is the foundation of desire. Breathing plays a role here as well. A calm, steady inhale and exhale in sync with hers amplifies the effect of rhythm. When your breathing aligns with her body's natural movements, it subconsciously communicates calmness, safety, and attentiveness. This combination of touch, timing, and rhythm creates a psychological resonance. She may not consciously analyze why she feels drawn to you, but she does, and it's powerful. Finally, rhythm gives the hug a lingering emotional impact. It transforms a simple gesture into a memory she carries with her. When done right, the hug doesn't just end when you release her. It leaves a subtle imprint of comfort, confidence, and magnetic presence. These micro moments of alignment, pressure, and timing are what separate forgettable embraces from unforgettable ones. By combining presence, subtle touch, facial cues, and rhythm, you create an embrace that communicates emotional intelligence, confidence, and attraction simultaneously. It's quiet, deliberate, and deeply effective. This is how a hug becomes more than a greeting. It becomes a tool of connection, a spark of desire, and a lasting impression that lingers in her mind long after you step away. Now that you understand presence, subtle touch, facial cues, and rhythm, the key is integration. A hug only becomes truly magnetic when these four elements work together naturally without forcing anything. Think of it like a symphony. Presence sets the tone, touch provides the texture, facial cues add emotion, and rhythm gives movement and life. When combined, they create a moment she remembers, long after the hug ends. Start by grounding yourself before you initiate a hug. Stand tall, breathe steadily, and tune into your own calm energy. This alone communicates confidence and emotional stability. Then approach her with intentionality, wrapping your arms in a way that conveys respect and attentiveness. Let your hands rest naturally, adjusting gently to her body's subtle shifts. This shows awareness without being overbearing. As you hold the hug, allow your face and eyes to communicate warmth and presence. A soft smile, a brief glance into her eyes, and relaxed facial muscles speak volumes. These micro-expressions silently tell her you are calm, confident, and fully engaged. When combined with steady, intentional pressure and rhythmic movement, the hug becomes a seamless experience, a conversation without words, where every element supports the others. The beauty of this integration is subtlety. You don't need theatrics, overly long embraces, or exaggerated gestures. It's about being aware of the moment, feeling her energy and responding calmly and naturally. Women are drawn to men who embody this balance because it communicates emotional intelligence, security, and attraction, all in a way that feels effortless and genuine. When you consistently integrate these elements, every hug you give transforms from a casual gesture into a powerful tool of connection. She begins to associate you with warmth, attentiveness, and quiet confidence. She remembers how it felt to be fully seen and emotionally safe in your presence. That lingering impression is far more influential than anything spoken. It plants curiosity, admiration, and a subtle desire to seek more moments with you. Finally, understand that the most important element is authenticity. Presence, touch, facial cues, and rhythm only work when they reflect your genuine self. If you try to fake confidence, control your movements unnaturally, or exaggerate facial expressions, she will feel it, and the effect disappears. The true power of a hug comes from being aware, grounded, and emotionally present. It's about showing her, without words, that you are someone she can feel connected to, safe with, and quietly intrigued by. So next time you hug a woman, remember, be present, touch with subtle intention, communicate through your face and eyes, and allow rhythm to flow naturally. That combination doesn't just create attraction, it leaves an imprint. A hug can be more than a greeting. It can be a moment that lingers in her mind, sparking curiosity, admiration, and emotional connection in ways most men never realize.